All right, welcome back, guys. This is the GSL Team League, the Jupiter Conference. If it was a planet, it'd be the biggest one. There is Soccer, the winner of our last exhausting ZVP, and he's got to go up against OGS Lovesick now. So right into another ZVP.
And speaking of gravity,
wow. Yeah,
these teams are starting to feel the pull, especially OGS here. They have to win this. And, you know, Prime's starting to feel the pull, even though they're that far away. The pull of Jupiter's like that of the sun. It's so strong.
It's pretty
Prime
strong,
players
man.
sitting back at home are hoping that F.United can win here today so that they can make the playoffs.
OGS wants to break the gravitational pull of the lower half of the brackets to get up to the playoffs, and Fox is just sitting there trying to pull him down.
Fox fighting for pride.
Fighting for Prime, too.
Fighting for pride, fighting for Prime. You couldn't tell which one I said.
I was guessing it was Pride, but your microphone's in front of your mouth, so I couldn't see
pride.
it.
I said pride, but I was just trying to make a joke. It's like so close.
I was like telling you which I guessed, because I actually wasn't too sure. I guessed right. I'm just a good guesser.
You're a good guesser, man.
I'm a good guesser.
What's your liquid bet ranking?
I'm not a good liquid
That's
better.
not about guessing.
No, it's not. You're right. It's not about guessing. It's about using your heart. Moltrap would totally disagree with me. Anyway, we're going to move into this game. Soccer versus Lovesick. GSTL. Who's going to come out on top? Let's find out. All right, and they did pick Belshire Beach on the right side of the map from the team F.United, named after a sport.
F.United Soccer.
So I don't think there's anything else that's called the word soccer.
Unless he's like someone who socks people. He's a soccer.
Well, then you'd have a K in it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you know, you never
Could
know.
be.
They don't know how to spell it.
Well, like we mentioned earlier, I mean, he did knock Cezanne's block off. And here's our other Zerk. He's...
GSTL Lovesick.
Wow, that was a close one.
Some people spell soccer with 2 Ks and a Q, man.
That's just weird, man.
If anyone gets that reference, you should tweet at me about that.
All right.
2 Ks and a Q spelling soccer that way. If anyone knows what that's from, I'll actually give them like a Google Music invite or something.
You know,
I'm
I'm usually good with references, but
I'll tell you after.
I didn't get that one. I'm sorry.
It's a secret.
I'm sorry, man. I feel horrible.
So, we're going to see a very fast expansion coming out from Soccer here on this map. He's made his pylon into natural. His opponent has gone pool first. We've seen a lot of Protosses try this on this map, but it's a very difficult map to pull it off.
Yeah, I don't know why Protosses keep trying that forward expand. I mean, it just doesn't seem to be too good. It doesn't seem to work very often.
Well, you know, against a player like Lovesick, could work out okay. Against a player like July, I would never do it.
No, July's just gonna make banelings, but like I'm just gonna assume you're not gonna force field correctly. It's gonna work out, and then it does.
When you see the pool, though, it does make you feel pretty comfortable. He sees the pool first. He knows it's not gonna be super fast roach aggression, or there'll be gas already.
Yeah.
He's gonna continue to check.
That's very
as
true.
long as he can. Cannon goes down first, just in case.
Yep.
Gonna make the Nexus soon after.
He needs the minerals to make the Nexus. It's a little bit extra. And it's Nexus time.
Not
soon.
Nexus time yet, man. He needs 100 more minerals, then it's Nexus time.
The probe is like, come on. I want it to be Nexus time.
They sing the Mary Poppins Steppin' Time song, so they say Nexus time.
Nexus time. Oh, wow.
So there's a bunch of chimney sweeps, like pressing BN and then like dropping a Nexus. And the Lings are going to try to sneak around here. Not enough resources to block, so unfortunately they get in.
Yeah, they're going to see everything that Soccer has. They're not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage, I would think. So you don't need to worry about all the probes. This isn't Bronze League. It's not like he's going to not micro the probes at all. He's not just going to stare at his screen and go, oh no.
Yeah, it's going to take some damage on that Nexus. Gateway far from completing. And when this happens, you know, it's very difficult for Protoss to recover because at the very least he's going to take damage in some way. He can't deal with the Lings if they're microed properly. These aren't July Zerglings. If July Zerglings had gotten in there, the game would just end.
Yeah, well,
good micro with his Lings. But look at this. This assimilator may never finish. He's going to pull the probes. Oh, and unfortunately he didn't actually pull those Lings, so he's going to lose those, at least one of them.
Wow. Pacifist drone decides not to finish off the link. He like looks at the Protoss Master, and the Protoss Master gives him a thumbs down, but he doesn't do it anyway. It's the probe Zergling arena.
Kills a probe.
Yeah. That's what
another
happens.
probe.
Zerglings have no mercy, man.
Look at that. Gets all the lings away.
Wow.
Look at those 2 lings with 4 hit points and 5 hit points, respectively.
These are some pretty effective lings.
And look at the probes. Look at that. Look at that micro. Look at that micro. Look at it.
I'm looking at it. Stop yelling at me.
Look at it.
It's like we're at the GOM house and he's trying to show me replay. Look at that micro. Look at those carriers.
I mean, seriously,
It's like the
that
Clockwork
is some
Orange.
intense micro. He lost a lot of mine time pulling those probes away.
Yeah.
And all it took was 4 lings. They're still alive. Now, we've been looking at a lot of these lings, but meanwhile, the hatchery is finishing up. He's made only drones behind this, so he's at 24 drones now. And the Zealot now is going to ruin the day of the Zerglings.
Yeah, a little bit tougher to micro lings with low hit points against Zealots. Doesn't go quite as well. But, you know, it did really, really hassle Soccer a lot. Gave him a lot of vision.
Yeah.
That
Always a
ling's
hassle to have
still
lings
alive.
these days. They're hassling you,
Yeah.
bothering you, poking your probes and stuff.
I
Why are you
know.
hassling me?
I don't know, lings just don't have any respect for their fellow unit.
No, they don't. And that's okay, though.
They stand on the left side of the escalator.
They do, and
That is so annoying.
I'm just trying to walk up, and there's that Zergling standing there.
Yep. You're like, come on.
I'm in a hurry, man. Dude, like, why are you there?
It's like you've got the speed upgrade, you've got little wings, just like jump. Just jump off the escalator. You don't need to
Third
ride
base
it.
going up.
Well, it makes sense that he would get a really fast third like this. He knows he's pretty safe. I mean, he sees everything that's going on in Soccer's base. That Ling is still alive. That is actually the Marathon Ling.
Man, that Ling was about to get killed by a sentry, then Zergling speed finish. He was able to stay alive a little bit longer, but that is that
I miss him already.
at the 7
Oh, there's a Ling in the natural.
24-second mark. Ling died.
Yeah.
We'll remember this day.
That Overlord taking a little bit of damage and
Trying to make sure he stays on the high ground there.
just that little pinnacle there, you can just park over it and suddenly you vanish.
Wonder if you can spread creep onto it if it would stay.
I don't know. Put a spine crawler there.
Well, let me give you guys some numbers. 44 drones and 1 Zergling out. So he made those first lings, and then that was it for him.
Oh, goodbye, Overlord.
The wind blew a little bit, and the Overlord's tentacles were exposed.
That's right. And yeah, the Roach Warren just finishing very, very soon for OGS Lovesick.
He's got about 50 drones. Starting that lair right now, Evo Chamber up. Looks like he wants to drone even a little bit harder before he's just cranking out those roaches. Wants to get the good roach upgrades.
We're going to have a pretty similar push to what Soccer was doing last game as well. He's getting a lot of sentries. He's getting that +1, adding on some more gateways. Seems like, now did he have 4 gas quite so fast last game? I don't remember if he did. I don't feel like he did, but I could be wrong.
Well,
he probably must have.
Zan got his gas a lot faster than Lovesick did.
Right.
But he took a faster third base instead, whereas Lovesick took a faster third base. Zan wanted to make sure he got his lair up. He actually made an infestation pit beforehand.
Yep.
+1. Missile attack on the way. Starting to crank those roaches out. Robo on the way, though. He's just going to continue to pressure. He's not committing to the pressure, though, which I like. He's just trying to force attacking units rather than drones. And in fact, he doesn't know yet that the third base is up.
Well, he didn't go quite so crazy with sentries this time around, too, so this army is actually a little bit threatening, whereas before it was kind of just pretty in sort of a winter snow globe kind of way.
Twilight Council going up. Just going to make an observer. Doesn't want to go crazy with well, I take it back. He is going to make a robotic support bay and a Twilight Council at the same time.
He does want to go crazy.
He wants to go crazy, man.
Oh, that Overlord is going to see all the gateways, but not much else.
Not to see the tech selections.
Yeah.
And in fact, Soccer checked top right, but not checked for the actual third base location. He sees the creep, though, so he knows it's there. His creep spread couldn't be that good. His Zealot was fortunate enough to see that creep spread. And he needs to be very careful with his snow globes, if you will, out here, because that little 3-year-old roach is going to take it and shake it really hard and might slip out of his hand and fall on the ground and crack.
And like throws it across the room, and then Mom and Dad get angry.
Yeah, the water spills out.
Like,
really
no
gross.
Christmas presents for you this year.
Santa's going to be angry.
That's right.
All right, look at this. Roaches coming from both sides. This is why it's very difficult for a Protoss to do a sentry heavy competition here, because there's just not enough force fields to hold this forever.
Yeah,
Although
I mean,
with
good
the
initial
cannon
force
and the good
fields,
force fields there, he's buying himself a lot of time, but the roaches do spill in.
And he's out of force fields, and now he's going to start taking some serious damage.
Yeah, and as the stalkers start to fall, the sentries just really don't do a whole lot of damage. More and more roaches pouring in here.
Yep, I think Soccer might just die here.
Soccer just was a little too passive. He just decided to sit back, make a lot of sentries, not be aggressive with them, allowed Lovesick to take the third base for free, and he's not gonna die here, but he's losing so many stalkers that this trade is just so much better.
Lovesick actually made a big mistake with about a third of his roaches. He had them just trying to attack, but they were stuck in force field, so they're sitting there not doing anything. And yeah, that helped out quite a bit. But the Colossus on the high ground, that's going to kind of spell the end, more or less, for this push. But it looks like Lovesick just wants to go for it, streaming more and more roaches down the map.
Well, he has nothing to lose. That Colossus is going to eventually fall here by the looks of it. And 2 hit points left. Oh, stays alive. But he's just killing so much here. He's killing all of these
there we go.
Structures at the beginning, or at the front of the base here. Killing the units. GG.
There it is.
He was just going to continue to trade, and eventually he was going to get the better trade.
Yeah, well, once you get the roaches flowing, it's hard to stop it. And Soccer is done. That's all for him. Are we going to see one of our foreign players come out next? Interested to see who it's going to be.
I wouldn't be surprised if they sent Thorzane out.
I would agree.
Thorzane, obviously some of the best TVZ in the land.
Yeah, very slow, very safe, very methodical, very dangerous.
Very patient.
Yep, very spoon.
So, Lovesick getting the high fives.
Those are high tens, man.
Those were high tens.
Double high fives. There's a high five.
There are the high fives.
It's important that we differentiate. We don't want to confuse people out there.
Yeah, it's true. I had forgotten about the term high 10.
It's like someone wants a high five and you put up both hands. They're like, what?
I asked for a high five, not a high 10.
I don't know what to do.
He gets overwhelmed by how many fingers there are.
There's so many. Twice as many as before. So, here we are. And so Thorzane, I think that would be a pretty good pick. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be Thorzane, Wolf?
I think we're going to see Thorzane. I think Thorzane is the most likely choice. Honestly, his TVZ has been proven to be the best out of anyone's in F.United. Obviously, there's only 2 Terrans there, but I don't think they want to use Naniwa yet.
I'm trying to say Thorzane really loud to see if he turns around and looks. Oh, he's not. Didn't hear us this time. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Thorzane? No, it's going to be Phoenix, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be Phoenix.
Oh, well, I give up.
Kind of surprised they would choose Phoenix because, to be honest, Phoenix's TVZ hasn't been stellar.
He's been practicing quite a bit.
But he has been practicing. He's been practicing with IM a lot.
Yeah, in fact, he's wearing an IM shirt.
Well, it's an IM sponsor shirt. He's wearing a Gugums shirt. Now, Gugums is the sponsor of IM, so don't read too much into that. But of course, there may be some connection there. I was staying with the house, gets one of their shirts.
He's actually not on Fnatic anymore, by the way. They did part ways. I believe that was last week or something. So he is currently teamless.
Parting of ways.
Yep. But still a very good Zerg player. He's gotten a win or 2 in the team league. As you can see there, 2 wins, 3 losses. He beat
his Terran play can show a lot of depth, but at the same time, there's a few weaknesses and there's a few holes, and maybe he's been able to sort that out while staying with IM. And clearly, the Fox coach feels comfortable putting him out.
Well, man, I mean, if he's staying at IM, getting to practice against people like Lucira, of course, Nesty possibly, who knows? More likely Lucira. He's getting some really good TVZ practice, that's for sure.
That is definitely true.
Yeah, Lucira's actually
a lot of
really
other
good
Zergs like IM Horror on the team that would be good to practice with.
It's a good example, too. I'm trying to think of other Zergs besides those 2 now that are on IM.
Well, Sleep, I believe, was a Zerg player, but I think he's
on Slayers now.
Yeah, he's moved teams now, so I don't know. But, Horror and Lucira are 2 of the most notable Zergs on an Incredible Miracle. So
yeah, absolutely.
Plus, I mean, there's
Nesty guy. I've never heard of him.
Nesty has his own little practice regime.
Yeah, he doesn't live at the team house or anything like that. So we're talking more. You're right about players that actually live in the team house that Phoenix can practice against. Yep. Nesty just sometimes descends from the heavens and puts his hand on top of all the other players at the IM house.
Now, I wanted to mention to you guys, remember, we already mentioned that we're going to be broadcasting the qualifiers this weekend. Also, this weekend, free VODs, every VOD ever for the GSL. Back in Season 1, you can watch those. You can find out
good ones out there.
Can find out that Wolf was wrong when he said that Polt did the Battlecruiser rush against Spunky. It was August Wera. You can find out who the Wera clan is. If you guys haven't been following GSL, you're like, I've never heard of Wera. What's Rex? And you're like, when Artosis talks about bit by bit, I don't know what he means. Go back and look that stuff up. Watch Hyperdub versus TL, the classic match. You guys probably see that. It's like still in one of the most watched sections.
Game 1 on Zelnaga Caverns.
Watch
those guys, a very memorable game. Another one that we were talking about back at the house, because we were kind of thinking, what VODs would be good to go back and watch. Another one would be Kyrix versus Marine King.
Kyrix versus Marine King, that changed TVZ forever. Watch that best of 3.
That was the first VOD where you really got to see the Marine micro, the Marine splitting and things like that. And yeah, I think I might actually go back and watch some of the bit-by-bit games. Those were fun in a different sort of way.
I mean, it really shows the state of TVZ at the time. You can go back and actually get a history lesson from watching some of these old VODs.
No kidding.
Look up some of these old players, watch their old games, and see how much they've improved.
It's amazing how much things have changed. You can go back to Season 1 and watch San play against Torch.
Yeah, you can. You can go and watch Artosis play.
Yeah, that's right.
So definitely go and check that stuff out.
We're going to watch these guys. They've picked Antigua Shipyard. It's a map a lot of Terrans are liking against Zerg right now. I'm going to be thinking all day about what matches would be good to watch. The Code A finals from 3 seasons ago, Lysira versus Supernova was really good too.
Yeah. Not to mention watching Rainbow versus Fruit Dealer finals. It's like a blast in the past. It's like the 2 of the best players who now have been kind of lackluster. Watch that.
Well, Nesty versus Marine King too in the second.
That is
GSL
the best finals ever. Watch that.
That was a very good. It wasn't Code S in quotation marks. It was good. Let's move into this game. The Giant Flames say that it's time for Phoenix to take on Lovesick. Who's going to come out on top? This is the GSL Team League.